Welcome to MoocLab's interview series called Life-Changing Experiences of Learning with MOOCs. My name is Carolyn McIntyre. I'm CEO of MoocLab.club, which is a community website connecting people to online learning. This interview series features people from different walks of life, professions, nationalities, and age groups who are all associated with MOOCs and online learning. Today, we're meeting Archana Thakran. Archana works in the space of open educational resources, and her expertise lies in conducting hands-on training workshops on the use of OER for teaching and learning purposes. So far, she has trained over 1,000 faculty, and she recently conducted a webinar on the practical use of OER. Besides being involved in training, she also gained experience of taking MOOCs for self-learning when she was a student. She holds a master's in biotechnology and a bachelor's in medical biotechnology, and worked as a research analyst before entering the education sector. Currently, she's working with Amity University as deputy manager. Hi, Archana.
Hi, Caroline. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me for this interview. And it's a pleasure to be a part of your interview series on the impact of open education resources and MOOCs.
Well, it's great to have you with us, Archana, and I'm looking forward to hearing a little bit more about you and what you do. First of all, can I ask you to tell us a little bit about how you became involved in training and open educational resources?
Oh, yeah. Well, training just happened to me when I was doing my master's. I used to think that all my teachers who have been teaching me for all these years, they are repeating the same content every year, and there is less time for discussing the practical aspect of those topics, because the time in that particular semester is limited and they have to impart the theoretical aspects and then the practical aspect of the same subject. So when I got this opportunity to work in education sector, I thought, why not let's try something which have a longer impact. So the organization with which I was working, which was Progia, so they were into open education resources, and that's how I got introduced to this training and OER.
Right, that's really interesting, Archana. Briefly, how can open educational resources be used for teaching and learning purposes?
Oh, there are many ways in which OER can be used for teaching and learning. And the way I see OER, it is a revolution which is, transforming the education sector worldwide. And now when you see the best of the learning resources, they are made available online, that too without any cost involved. It actually empowers a teacher that how they can make the best use of that content, with of course with certain use of pedagogy, and you see some extreme examples we can see with flipped classroom models and this blended learning. This has changed the whole scenario of education. And OER
Right.
and MOOC, these are the major contributors in doing that landscape change.
Absolutely. There is currently a huge lack of skilled workers, particularly in STEM subjects, that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Do you believe
Yes.
that OER and MOOCs can help fight the global skills gap?
Yes, of course. With OER and MOOCs, we can certainly fill this gap in STEM education, where science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We are finding that we have lack of skilled teachers who can teach our students well. Especially not only in developed countries, we find this scarcity in developing countries as well. Like, actually, this is a global skill scarcity, which we will agree that we need to focus on. And with the help of this OER, this skill gap can be filled easily. Like one best example one can see is Khan Academy. What Khan is doing, US, all the schools, they have been adopting his lectures in the classroom, and teachers, they are finding it as a helping aid for their students. right? Not only for the students but for themselves also. It is doing a faculty development for it is like a faculty development for them, and through this they are finding it, that they have made it has made their work so easy and so uh, what you call uh, helping tool, that they can improve the learning of the students. When we say learning of the students, we have different kind of learners. And currently, if you talk about how a teacher is teaching a particular in a class, totally traditional classroom setup, he is just focusing on one kind of learner. That is just those who can learn from the audio, because a teacher is speaking, and those learners who can learn well from that voice of the teacher, they learn very fast. But with this blended mode, or with the help of OER, what a teacher is now targeting, we can target to all different kind of learners, whether it is kinesthetic learner, or if it's a audio visual learner, or I mean, in the same classroom, the same teacher now can improve the learning of many students at that particular given time. So, and with the, of course, this STEM education which we are talking about, not only this Khan Academy is helping, there is CK12 is there for the school students, and then we have MIT OCW, and then various, if you talk about various repositories are there, more than 1 billion works are available under OER, and most of them, they are focused on STEM education, right? So these skills which we are talking in this area can easily be fulfilled with use of OER and MOOCs.
That's very encouraging to hear, I have to say. The press indicates that online education is gaining ground as a career accelerator in India, particularly in technology. From your personal experience, how widespread is the use of online learning and MOOCs for personal and professional development in India specifically?
Well, if we talk about the numbers, Indian students are the second highest MOOC takers after US, right? These are the
Yes.
statistics which are shared by Coursera, and all these students, they are either graduates or who are already employed, who want to upgrade their skills. So online education is actually taking a great uh, what do you call it?
A great,
Attention in India. And now government is seriously in this area, where they are integrating online education with technology, where they can meet the challenges which Indian higher education system is facing. Firstly, the school dropout ratio is there. Then we have a large number of schools to be built up. So it is very difficult for any country to build, to go to such geographies to build, first of all, infrastructure. But with online education, those students can easily be targeted, those which are in the remotest area. So various initiatives
absolutely.
like SWEM, this is the Indian MOOC which government has started in 2014, and through SWEM the main focus of the government is to reach out to the unreached, which is in the tier 3 city or somewhere in the remotest area. We have various steps have been taken to provide the broadband facility in India, so that this online education can reach to such students. Then for engineering stream, if you talk about, we have NPTEL. This is for science graduate students, where this is an initiative again by MHRD and by all 7 IITs in India and IISc. And all the engineering courses are available there under OER, and the license is, of course, CCBY-SA. And any engineering graduate who wants to learn about any of the engineering stream can go to NPTEL course and can take that course. And now government is has actually started giving credits for such courses if someone is taking those MOOCs on SWEM platform or from NPTEL, started with. So these are few steps, a few such initiatives which are happening in India, and especially, and these, of course, all these initiatives are totally online. So it's gaining
That's very
momentum.
interesting. Yeah. And how would you say that faculty and entrepreneurs view MOOCs and that type of learning in India? Are they well perceived?
Yes, yes. Well, not that well perceived as of now, but things are, when the faculty, they are getting aware of such initiatives, such resources, they realize that the potential is there in enhancing and improving their own teaching and learning skills, and they are actually they feel empowered with such resources available to them. And this I can say, when I used to take these online these hands-on workshop for teachers and other entrepreneurs on how they can make best use of OER. Earlier, before the start of the workshop, they were totally clueless what OER is, what MOOCs are there, what is MOOC. Most of them would not have heard these terms. But once after the end of this workshop, they would say, "Oh my God, we have so much of what do you call gold mine of learning resources available to us, that too free of cost." And we can not only not only learn from them, but we can contribute back to such repos to this community, and can, show our own skills. I'm a teacher, I'm not aware what OER is about, but I teach really well. But once I'm aware of this OER resources, I feel that my knowledge should go to the rest of the world, so I will contribute back. And I have seen such teams now are active what you call member of OER community, and they are contributing there, not only making use of OER learning resources, but they are contributing back also. So
That's
for the
very
teachers,
exciting.
it's a great resource for them. And for entrepreneurs, well, some examples I can quote is, suppose someone knows mobile app development and he wants to teach a course online, and he he knows the subject, but he cannot create the content or the curriculum of that particular course. Now for him, that content already exists under OER. He can make use of that content, make use of the skills which he knows from the industry, and start imparting that course online. So within no time, where he was thinking how will he create the course curriculum and the content, he can immediately make use of what is already available to him, and modify it according to the local needs of the students, and they can start earning revenue. So from that perspective, OER is helping entrepreneurs also to make revenue.
That's great. That's very encouraging to hear. How do you actually envisage the future of online education, both in India and globally? Do you see it growing?
Yes, it is growing, and actually the future is online education. Brick and mortar system, it won't sustain in coming futures. I can see that it maybe in next 10-15 years we will see most of our colleges, they are not spread in few acres, but maybe in few rooms, because education is being imparted online, and students, they don't want to waste their time going to the classroom and learning there, because they will see that that knowledge is available, that is coming to them sitting at home, or maybe some other areas which we can focus on. And uh, and rather, I won't say it is in future. We can see that example where has actually happened, where Udacity, AT&T, and Georgia Tech, they have partnered to offer programming computer science at $7,000. So that is totally online, and they have got a very good response for that program. So this gonna be a future globally for education, and it will bring down the cost of education, plus the quality of education will certainly be improved.
Yeah, so a great future for online education, which is
It,
good to hear.
yes, absolutely.
So moving on to MOOCs, I know that you yourself completed a few MOOCs in your student days. How did you
Right.
first get to know about these types of courses?
That was just a coincidence. When I was doing my masters, I skipped few of my lectures, and I want to have a better understanding for that subject. So I thought, uh, how do I learn this subject now? So that I just went online and said, oh, then I discovered this Coursera is there, and that is actually imparting same course which I wanted to learn, and that's how I got introduced to this subject, this term called MOOCs. And Coursera was the first MOOC, was the first player which I took the course on.
Okay.
But
And
yeah, that was for the first self-learning, and then I think I have completed maybe 8-9 MOOCs so far. So
okay. And did you face any these MOOCs?
yes,
What were they, and how did you overcome them?
certainly. Well, back in 2000, I don't know, it was 12 or what, 11, 12, yeah, 12. It was
12.
internet connectivity. Yeah, we had 2G, and now that connectivity speed was very low. And now things are getting better. We have 4G coming, has been introduced in India. So this for internet connectivity, I won't blame that was the challenge which I faced, but that was being faced by everyone, you know. But now it is getting better with the government being so serious about this issue of providing a good broadband connectivity throughout the country. Then second challenge which I faced was the peer evaluation. I somehow felt that peer to peer evaluation was not happening very seriously when I took my first MOOC. That day I thought that someone has actually not read my assignment so well, and they just gave me 2 marks or 1 marks, and the comments was also not I could not agree to that point, because few there were actually three mandatory peer evaluation were to be done, and two were actually honest evaluation, and one was just randomly they have given me marks on that on those assignments. So that was one of the challenge. I could not understand what was going on when he was evaluating that assignment. I could see if I were must evaluate and I am running less of the time, I won't read the full sentence, and I would give 2, 3, or any number of marks which I want to give. Right. So that time that
Yeah.
was one of the challenges. But now I am seeing that peer evaluation is happening more seriously. And third was when I took my first MOOC, I found there was no email reminder that my assignment is pending or my quiz is pending. Now I get a regular reminder email so that I don't drop out from that course. So that has been taken care now. So that's kind
Yeah.
of motivating, and reminding myself, okay, now I have to complete that. Sometimes it because now I am working, sometimes it gets skipped from my schedule, but such emails, repeated reminders, they actually motivate me to complete that move. Yes.
Yes, there certainly have been improvements in the way these
Yes,
courses are delivered. Are
actually.
you
Okay.
planning on taking any MOOCs in the future, or do you maybe not have time anymore?
Oh yes, I am. I am planning to take a few MOOCs on edX and Coursera on effective writing. Then I'm planning to start one MOOC on research. What you call statistical research methodology. This is one of my great interest area. So right now these are the two MOOCs I am looking forward to. Recently, I completed one MOOC on OER for teachers. That was by Test India, and that ran on that was a part of edX, and that was a great MOOC which I learned. The learning which Test India project was sharing how they can improve teaching and learning the OERs which they have created for these seven states which they were currently working with. That was interesting MOOC. And last year there was another MOOC which was on Teachers Day it started, and that was on the same subject, that how a teacher can learn from open education resources, from where they can find resources, from where they can adapt, or they can edit those resources and make such resources more valuable for their students. So I think MOOC is helping everyone. The provided, firstly, anything, there should be willingness to bring that change. The mindset should be there to accustom to that change. If I am a teacher and I want to learn new thing, or I want to try such new thing with the changing scenario globally, then I think MOOC and OER are the best way to do so. And that too, you need not to spend a single dime on it. It is coming to you. You are not going anywhere. You can learn sitting at your home, and you can just improve or enhance your skill sets, and can bring lot of changes, lot of contribution in education sector as a teacher. So yeah.
Absolutely. And with your experience in teaching and OER, would you ever consider making a MOOC yourself?
Well, yes, I thought of making one. Was actually that was on the same lines that what I was actually being imparted in my hands-on workshop. I thought, why not make it a MOOC or a small course where I can reach out to the maximum people. Right now in my workshop, the number I would restrict would be, sometimes 20 or 30, because it's a hands-on workshop. I wanted to make it in a blended form. So we have actually created a course, and that course we used to send to the participants 2-3 days prior, that these are the theoretical aspects you need to learn, you need to come prepared with, and then we will practice these sessions. Which we tried, okay, let's try such a training experience also in a blended format. So I won't call it a MOOC app per se, but it was a spoke. Then there are different variation in MOOC, spoke, that is small private online classes, I would say that. So that was a spoke in a blended format we tried. All the participants were sent a few links of video lectures and some handouts, that if next week is my hands-on workshop, you please come prepared with such and such topics, and then we will practice that particular topic, and we will prepare one lecture or one you can say one module for the whole day. And actually it worked, and because earlier participants were unprepared, this time I could see they are well prepared and they have questions to ask. They had many questions that they wanted to ask on Creative Commons licenses. Then how do they edit it? From they want to contribute it, how do they contribute it? So they started thinking on those lines. So such experience. Actually, I was amazed to see from the participants and from the teachers that once they are being aware of such resources, they want to use it, and they are making such difference in their teaching and learning.
That's a fantastic example of the sort of positive learning experience that can happen from using MOOCs and particularly SPOCs, as you just described.
Yes.
Finally, I'd like to ask you, Archana, if you have any incident or event that has marked your journey that's been connected with OER and MOOCs that you'd like to share with us.
Pardon? Actually, your voice got cracked in the break. Can you repeat your question?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Yes,
now I can hear you.
I just wanted to ask you as a final question whether you have any interesting event or incident you'd like to share with us that has been connected to your involvement with MOOCs or open educational resources.
Oh yes, there are many instances. Well, having trained over 1,000 faculty, I can tell you that the level of the participant when they came for the workshop was very, they were very new to technology, and there were few participants who never had a Gmail account also. But by the end of the workshop, I could see it their own Google website, and they are sharing those learning resources on them. So actually, this OER and MOOCs is such a motivating, you can say, resource for a teacher, that they want to use it, but the fact is they don't find how can they actually make change in their pedagogy. if they are aware of such resources, and if you get them started, they keep on using it. The only challenge lies is that they don't, first of all, they don't see, they are not aware of such resources available to them. And second is, they are not aware, okay, if they know MOOC is there, then what do I do with that MOOC? How can I make use of that MOOC for my students, or for own learning? So once you tell them that these are the various ways by which you can use it, they feel, oh my god, now I can bring a lot of transformation in my own education system. Let me share one example. In tier 1 city, when you talk about, we have number of faculty, their quality is really good. But when you go to remote areas, well qualified faculty, they don't want to go there. That was in a tier 2 city, rather I won't call it a tier 2 city, tier 3 city, where a final year graduate was teaching first year students. Now you can imagine the level, what kind of learning or what kind of teaching that final year student would be imparting the first year student, because well qualified teachers, they don't want to go there. So when we introduced this OER, showed few examples of MIT, OCW, OE consortiums, and OER commons. They were amazed to see. They said, we can learn from a faculty who is teaching at MIT. I can make that level easy for my first year students. And now that faculty, that final year student who would be teaching that first year student, he feel empowered all of a sudden, and he say that not only I can improve my teaching skills, but I can see my self-own development is also happening. I can see how world's best teacher, they are delivering lectures in the classroom, how they are motivating students, how the students are, they are asking questions, or they can make use of the assignments or the quiz which is available to them. They can modify it, localize it as per the local student needs. So that was phenomenal experience which I had with them. So I could see that this movement, OER and MOOC, together they are actually bringing a lot of transformation, a lot of change in education system. It just, we need to acknowledge that, and we need to start thinking seriously on such lines, that this should be an integral and compulsory part of all our policies which our government is adopting. Yes.
Absolutely. These are very, very exciting times when it comes to online learning. And thanks to people like you, Archana, the awareness of such forms of education is growing, and it will, I'm sure, continue to grow. And as you say, it will become the future of education. And I look forward to seeing that journey happen.
Certainly.
Thank you very, very much, Archana.
Thank you so much, Caroline, for providing me this opportunity to share my experience, and let's continue to have such more interaction and share more examples and more experiences with you.
Absolutely, and I look forward to keeping in touch with you.
Okay, all right. It was pleasure to have such this interaction with you. Thank you so much.
Not at all.
Bye bye from India.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.